On this episode, we talk about who else could create your art, balancing social media time with what you make, and one YouTuber who is on my slate as one of my favorites. That'll be funny later. Hey everybody, and welcome to Finish Friday, the show that helps more creative people change more lives. I am your host, Todd B. from Tennessee, and I created this show because on a scale of 1 to putting the right card in the right envelope on Oscar night, creating things is hard, and finishing those things is often even harder. Jeez, I gotta tell you, and I know we're way after the fact, but it's like, how does that happen? How does it happen? And I know stuff happens, I know life happens, and I hate, I'm not making jokes or I don't want to make fun of anybody, right? Because I hate taking that expense, but boy, that's a shame, right? That's a shame and I'm just thinking as an artist, right? To get to that point where you think you have achieved the ultimate recognition for your work and then to find out that you actually haven't. And so on the flip side of that, of course, much love to Moonlight and the people who created that, because that's the exact opposite feeling, like the disappointment and then the elation. Either way, it's tough to swallow. And I guess that's just something we're all gonna have to live with. But without any further ado, let's get into today's topic. Who else is going to create your art? Honestly, I want you to sit there and think about that for a second. Who else is going to write the book that you could write? Who else is going to write the songs that you could write? Who else is going to paint the things that you could write? And the answer is nobody. Nobody. I'm sitting here, and urgency is a big part of this show. I'm very motivational, and I want to light a fire under your butt to get you start creating the work that you were meant to create. Because the truth is, nobody else can create what you can create. Nobody else can do it. Nobody else can do it. I'm going to say that until it gets in your head. I know these are straightforward messages, but once behavior reaches 100%, then we'll move on to more advanced topics. Listen, guys, some of you are watching this show right now and you are not creating everything you need to create because you're in a place of doubt. You're in a place of fear. You're in a place where you worry what you have to say is not original or not new or anything like that. You're in a place where you don't feel like what you have to say is important. And I want to encourage you today and remind you that nobody else can create the art that you can create. You have a unique combination of skill and talent and experiences that nobody else on this planet have. And I need you to internalize that and understand the uniqueness of your situation and create the art that you were born to create all along. And with that, let's move into this week's question of the week. This week's question of the week is sponsored, as always, by my book, The Creative's Curse. And first of all, much love. Shout out to all of you guys who went and got the book last week when not a sale, but before we raised the price. I know you guys are reading that or listening to that and loving it right now. I really appreciate the support. Any books you buy go to make the show better. I mean, it's as simple as that. It helps me make better art for you. It helps me encourage you more, make better shows, make better audiobooks and that kind of thing. So thank you so much for the support. Today's question comes from Callie Bird. What's up, Callie? I always see you on Twitter. You're the best. Shout out to everybody on my Twitter fam, because you guys are love right there. That's where I hang out. That's where I am most of the time, and I love being there. I have a question for your question of the week. In your earlier days on Medium, she's talking about before when I was kind of the 0 to 1,000 range as opposed to the above 30,000 followers now. How much time did you spend promoting your content on social media, and how much time do you spend on coming up with a headline? Some advice, much of it from Medium, says you need to devote significant time to both of these activities. I wonder how you do this. Thank you, Callie, so much. This is a great question, right? Because we all struggle with it. We want to create, as artists, we are drawn to create new stuff, but we know that people win with social media and all of these things. And one thing I'll say now that I say all the time, which is that someone could have half the talent that you have, but have double the social marketing skills and be better, like more known than you are. But I always encourage, and you guys, I'm going to be completely raw here, you have to devote yourself to the craft. In the beginning of my Medium phase, right before I kind of blew up on that platform, I was focused mostly on creating the best stuff I possibly could. Writing the best articles I possibly could. And you know why? Because the social following wasn't there yet. Like, so many of you watching this show right now and you don't have the social following, yet you're spending 50% of your time trying to get the attention of the 112 people that follow you to go read your work. And while that makes sense, right? While you don't want to get out of the habit of doing that some, ultimately, your best chance for success on any platform is going to be to give to that platform everything you can possibly give. Medium needs me to survive. And I'm not trying to inflate this. I'm a big pillar of what goes on there. And so if I disappeared, would Medium be the same? Sure. Would they get the same amount of traffic? No, they would not, because people come to read my work. And the reason for that is I have given so much to that platform and to that community that now more people are there because of me. Now, and that's why I focus on the quality of what I do more so than the promotion. As far as the headlines go, yeah, buddy, they are important. So it's like, you guys understand, you guys live in the same world I do, right? Everyone is going like this at 100 miles an hour, and you're trying to get people's attention and they're on their phones. And so you at best have a half a second to get someone's attention. And so writing a headline is probably one of the most important things you can do. If I spend 40 minutes writing an article, I will spend 10 to 15 minutes trying to get the right headline. No joke, no exaggeration, because I know that might be my only chance, right? That might be the only chance I have to get someone is in that half a second where they're scrolling and they say an email or a headline and a picture. That might be all I get. And so I'm going to spend a lot of time maximizing my headlines. For those of you that are on this right now, know that I use Quora, Quora.com to answer questions. A lot of times I will steal headlines from what I do there. Like, the question will be, what are 20 easy hacks for a 21-year-old to improve his life? And I'll answer that question, and then I'll literally take the headline, 20 easy hacks for a 21-year-old to improve his life, and move it over to Medium because it clearly works, because it's got some attention on Quora, and I'll just use that so I don't have to spend the time thinking about another headline. Headlines are super important. Social media, if you have less than 500 followers, don't worry about it. Focus on getting better. If you're the best, people will help share your stuff for you. After that, let's get into today's Artist Spotlight. Oh geez, I was just looking at Callie's question. I figured out how to get YouTube on my new TV so you were beamed into my living room on 44-inch Ultra HD. It's a little scary. Shout out to everybody watching me on your TVs right now. All right, this week's Artist Spotlight goes on Laura Slate. Speaking of the Twitter fam, girl, so much love. Laura's one of my favorite people. I love getting shout outs to YouTubers like this because she's a writer and she's going through the journey, right? I'm looking at her YouTube page right now, and one of the things that jumps out at me are all the writing tips that are there. Guys, there can never be enough writing tips. Like, if you're afraid to start your own YouTube channel and you're in the realm of like, oh, it's all been done. It all hasn't been done because we haven't seen you do it. right? Like, simple as that. And that kind of ties into the theme of the show. No one else can create your art. No one else has the perspective on your art that you do. And so talk about the struggle. Talk about, what gives you problems and what successes you're finding. And that's exactly what Laura's doing right here. How to create a writing routine, one of her top videos I'm seeing right here. And that is a must for anyone who wants to become a writer. So shout out to Laura. Thank you, girl, for doing what you do, and keep on doing it. Whew. Ask the audience for today, what are you doing this weekend? Very simple, right? Very simple. Put that down in the comments. So much love to everyone for being on the show again today. Again, this is Todd B from Tennessee, and I will talk with you soon.